As the week went on, it got more and more bullish, guys, not just with Volt, but for the overall markets in just the flash of a finger. Now, Voltieco is approaching very, very shortly. We don't know the exact date yet, but we were told that it was going to be within the next 3 weeks, and that was back on the 17th of April. Surviving the 500,000 taken from the chart, as we can see, the Volt army already bought back most of it, like as if nothing ever happened, still holding a strong line. And the airdrops incoming from Voltieco, I think, is going to do some serious work to this chart. Let's break this down some more. Now, before we begin, guys, please do me a favor and smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome, guys. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell for me, please, and thank you. So, guys, here we are looking at the Volt chart, sitting at a $77 million market cap, slowly climbing our way back up. Looking over at the charts for the overall markets, BTC about to touch 30K again after a random spring up, then it got shut down, and then it went right back up within the same 24-hour span. Insane stuff. ETH following behind it, climbing back into that 2K territory slowly but surely, with overall market cap sitting at 1.2 trillion, almost at 1.21. First of all, we're going to start this off with Voltoshi, giving us a bit of a reminder of how 8 years ago ETH had similar to the same market cap that we're seeing right now in Volt. Now, mind you, this was 8 years back, and as we can see, back then ETH was sitting at a $94.5 million market cap, and as we can see today, it is sitting at over $200 billion in market cap. So significant increase, to be exact, giving you guys a mind-blowing answer of a 2500x from 92 million market cap to 230 billion. Now that is just insane, and at this rate, with Voltieco and all the additional utilities coming out, who's to say how high Volt can actually reach during the peak of the bull run? And just another bit of a teaser Voltoshi leaves for us, saying Voltieco aims to burn 1.5 trillion Volt tokens. Guys, that is a lot, because when you look at the chart over here, about 1 billion tokens right now is worth a little over $1,200. So doing the math, that would mean that with today's price, that would be worth $1.89 million. Now, of course, guys, by the time we see Voltieco out, and by the time Voltieco accomplishes that plan of burning roughly 1.5 trillion tokens of Volt, I guarantee you that current price of almost $2 million will be a lot more money by that time frame. So that's just some food for thought, guys, of how crazy things are about to get. Now, over the past week, we have been seeing a lot of craziness going on in the market, specifically the meme coin markets coming back to life. Overall, I think it is entirely bullish what we're seeing, all the money flowing not just into the markets but into meme coins, and I don't even think it is meme coin season as of yet. But here is something that I would like to give just a little hint of caution towards people out there. If you're going into these different degen plays and gambling plays, hey, that's the fun in it. That's what brought us all into the DeFi space, specifically meme coins to begin with, right? Now, make sure that you're not commingling the long-term investment that you got with the little bag that you want to put in for these gambling projects. All right, you don't want to mix the two up. Because I'll give you an example. Let's say that in your head, you're like, you know, a little $500 of Volt, I'm going to take that and go put that into this little whatever new coin that just came out, man. It's not going to do much, right? It's just $500. It's not a lot I'm taking out. Okay, maybe right now the $500 doesn't sound like a lot that you're taking out. But did you think about how much that's going to be at not even the 1000x goal, but just 100x? Look at this, 100x from here, not including the burns, just off of this current supply, will be just underneath an $8 billion market cap. Okay, so that's going to be around the levels that Saitama was at right around that Seda Mask event back in 21. That $500 that you may have brushed off saying, oh, I could just gamble with this, it's not going to hurt much of my bag anyway. Well, you just took $50,000 away from yourself in doing that. And that's how you got to look at it. And that's just not even hitting a 10 billion market cap. So we're not even talking about how much that would be during the peak of the bull run. We're not even talking about what would happen at a 5 billion market cap, because that might hurt. That might hurt, because now your $50,000 that you could have had at close to that $8 billion market cap range, now you're looking at more like $300,000 that you could have had at 50 billion market cap, all because you wanted to, you know, just take a little $500 or $1,000 and play with that. So like I said, guys, with these different plays that are coming out, we're going to be seeing a lot of it. This is the beginning of the bull cycle. This is where things start rocking and rolling out of nowhere, right when we least expect it. Things are still brewing right now, but please, guys, just go with caution. All right, only use funds that you're willing to lose. Do not tap into your long-term funds. I personally would never take any of my Volt tokens and swap them for these new trades that I can more than likely lose out on, even if you're a quick flip, because at the end of the day, if you have a good position in a solid project that you don't have to check the charts every day on, that within itself is a blessing, because it's the Wild West, guys. And until we see regulations start to amp up, which I don't think is happening just yet, maybe the next cycle, 2025 and onwards, we'll start seeing that come into play. But as of right now in 23, it's not there yet. So you gotta be extra responsible in how you move around with your money. Also, being very secure on where you keep your money. Make sure that that basket is not visible or attainable by just anybody and everybody. The closer we get to what we're waiting on, guys, the harder the pressure is going to push us back. And we have to be ready to stand tall within that storm. Okay, we have to be keeping our eyes focused on the finish line and not get distracted by any of these little things that are popping up left and right, left and right. They're temporary, guys. They're temporary. We got to focus on the vision. And that's my mindset when it comes to Volt. We got to stay focused on the vision. Things are amping up. Voltieco has me at the edge of my seat, and I only know as much as you guys know about it. We know about the staking pools. We knew how much that's going to bring for those people. But what about the guys that don't have enough to be staking, right? What about the ones that, you know, I just bought what I could from my paycheck and I'm holding it and I'm trying to see if this can make some life-changing money for me? Well, guys, like I said, 20% of the funds from those airdrops will be bought back into the Volt chart and then burned. That alone, that 20%, will be doing some serious numbers for us, guys. I don't think everybody computes with this. Picture we get one of the airdrops that, let's say, and Voltieco said it, there's been a couple that have gotten $1 to $2 million per wallet. Now we have the AI doing the job for us instead of actual people having to hope they get lucky on getting the right positions with the right wallets. And so imagine these numbers multiplied. Can you imagine waking up? We got a nice airdrop. Let's say we got an airdrop of, let's say, $2 million, right? 20% alone, just for you being a Volt holder in the chart, whether you wanted to stake or not stake, whether you have an NFT or not, which if you don't have an NFT, the floors are climbing quick. So even if you just want to get one just to tuck away and just hold on long term, I think that would be a pretty wise idea in my opinion. Now, continuing on, guys, 20% of $2 million is $400,000. What is going to be your reaction if you wake up and just check the chart and you see a big gigantic green candle because a random buy of 400 grand came in and you're wondering whose wallet was that? Well, guys, that was the airdrop. That was the buyback from the airdrop. And we're not even talking about the amount of burns that are taking place from those airdrops, how it's going to affect the NFT holders, how it's going to affect the ones that are saved. We're not even talking about that. We're just talking about you buy your tokens, you leave them there, you forget about them, and just let Voltieco, Voltichange, and all the different utilities do its job. Those are the rewards you're going to be seeing. Now, looking over here at the chart, the sell that we saw here, that was at the time roughly about, I think, $500,000 worth. So we saw how big of a difference that made in the chart. Now, can you imagine that same type of money on the flip side? You saw how quick that brought the chart down. Now imagine how quick the chart can be moving, especially when we have even less supply moving forward. Look at how quickly we were able to buy ourselves back up. We dipped down into the 8s. And within that same night, we climbed back up into the 5 and we're sitting steadily at the 12s. Now, we could have been back up here, I'm sure, no doubt. But at the same time, unexpectedly, the markets took their turn when we saw BTC dip down into the early 27s. And things got a little bit rocky for those couple of days. But things seem to be rocking and rolling. And this, to me, is a clear sign of manipulation happening in the markets. So please, guys, do not be going off of your emotions when you see these things. This is the beginning of how things are moving right now, and the reason that we're seeing so much volatility in the markets is even further confirmation, in my opinion, that this is the start of the bull cycle. Remember, guys, bull runs usually tend to go for about 2-3 years. at a time. What a solid year or so of bear. Our solid year was last year. Keep that in mind. So when in doubt, make sure to zoom out. As you can see, I watch my Volt on the day charts, not even the 12 hours anymore. I watch it from the 1 day chart, and we're greening consecutively on the 1 day. So I'm excited to see what more news is going to be teased to us, what's going to be revealed to us, because we are approaching the end of April, and this is where things are starting to get even more exciting. So with that being said, folks, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'm Jazz Royce, and like I always say, I'm going to catch each and every one of you guys at the top.